YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I am back. I was not real pleased with my Arverni performance last time, so I decided to go with the Lusitani. This is going to be the Battle of Carthago, and my opponent has brought the Arverni and brought a pretty elite core of infantry with the Arverni and some pretty good cav. The Arverni have an advantage over any of the Iberian factions, I think, in cavalry, just because they have heavy horse. And as far as infantry goes, their guys are very heavily armored. The Iberian tribes are going to have better attack, and probably more javelin units. But the Arverni should have an edge in armor. And an Oathsworn's a pretty powerful unit, but then again, so is a Lusitani noble. Veteran shield warriors are very good. Anyway, I have an ambush set for my opponent. He's going to see it very quickly. But this was a hill map, and I was like, hey, this would be a fun map to use the guerrilla units for the Lusitani. So I have 3 Lusitani guerrillas, which are spear units that have a lot of javelins, kind of like a they're like a Thurio spear without the armor and a little lower attack. Then I've got 4 guerrilla warriors already up on the top of the hill, which are going to be capable sword units. Very good melee defense, very low armor, good charge, good attack. And then backing them up, I have 4 units of Scutari cav. And then I'm coming up the hill with 4 veteran shield warriors and 1 Lusitani noble. And then I've got 2 Iberian cav, 1 roaming each flank. Just hoping to get around and do some good. So let's see what happens. My opponent sees my troops at the top of the hill at this point. And the spears were just here in case he charged up with cav, which he did not. So now you're going to see me peel the spears to the flank where they belong. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to take the initial charge with my Lusitani guerrilla warriors. These are my lowest tier units, so they're going to kind of take the first engagement, take the brunt of the Arverni charge. That's kind of the idea. And over here, my opponent's kind of retreating away from my spears and approaching swords. And I actually kind of split my veteran shield warriors to the flanks to try and get out there. And then I'm going to leave my Lusitani noble general in the center. And his cav has yet to engage me, except, yeah, he's thinking about engaging me over here. I am going to have to countercharge these chosen swordsmen. And then I managed to get my Iberian cav away from those chosen spears and into his Celtic youths. And then you'll notice that I'm trying to go for an outflanking maneuver over here. And I'm going to try and do the same over here. And then I'm sneaking a cav through. And then I'm just going to use my spears and cav and my general. See how I'm kind of keeping my cav in reserve? I'm letting my opponent engage all my units over here. Here I'm just hurling javelins. Iberian cav doing what it's best at, trying to get rid of skirmishers. It's quick. And I've got another one back here that I forget about, and I'm going to bring it in. Same thing here. I'm just trying to micro a lot of places at once, and I'm too slow to do it very well. Yeah. Anyway, you can see his noble horse getting a really nice rear charge of my veteran shield warriors, which is going to turn that fight around. So good move there. But again, I'm just back here with my Lusitani guerrillas, just hurling javelins non-stop. And I'm going to try and use as many of those javelins as I can. Cav's free again, so I can go after more skirmishers, and then this one's going to be my reserve unit. And again, see here how I'm just going to pin his cav down. I'm going to lose this fight, but it's fine, because I'm winning the infantry fight. My flanking maneuvers are working, and it's taking its toll. The chosen swordsmen were able to beat down my guerrillas pretty easy, but I do not think that they'll have any such luck against my veteran shield warriors or my Lusitani noble general. The general is up against an Oathsworn, though. He's got his work cut out for him, but as you can see with Headhunt and all the other stuff, he's going to be a tough unit to crack. I'm going to switch out here, Iberian cav into the skirmishers, and Scutari cav over here into his heavier cav. And then over here I actually managed to get the right kind of charge on his heavy horse and actually managed to kill it with my Scutari cav. And then over here, unfortunately my veteran shield warriors are going to get charged and braced. But this also gives me a chance to use my Lusitani guerrillas against his noble horse, and I allow them, well, actually they don't brace. I try and throw javelins, and I'm successful at it. So the javelins are actually pretty darn effective versus cav. You can see that I'm cutting down his noble horse pretty well. Fight's not over. Again, the Arverni unit's more heavily armored, very nice morale and health. So it is going to, again, it's going to take me a moment to crack them. I get veteran shield warriors in from behind, though. My Lusitani noble, 48 kills. Oathsworn about the same. But now they're surrounded. Iberian cav again playing what it was meant for here. Killing skirmishers, fast moving. It's okay for getting into the rear of sword infantry, but really heavy infantry is going to beat it down pretty hard. And again over here, this is just more of a delaying maneuver than anything. I've got his noble horse tied down with veteran shield warriors and Lusitani guerrillas. I've actually been really impressed with the Lusitani guerrillas. They're going to be terrible versus other spearmen, like heavy spearmen, like Thurio spears. but they're going to be pretty darn useful because it basically gives a lighter, faster guerrilla version of Thurio Spears to the Lusitani, which is pretty darn useful. Because number one, you can deploy your guerrilla warriors with some protection, and the spears, the Lusitani guerrillas have enough javelins to deal with elephants, so they can protect your swords from elephants, potentially. Chariots, you're just screwed. I do not ever recommend playing these factions against a chariot faction. If you have noble horse with the Arvasi, you might be able to play against a chariot faction, but it's extremely risky because all of your units are going to be poor at bracing. If you had to brace, you would want to get them into shield wall, and you would want to turn off their javelins, because when javelins are turned on, your men do not brace, and it's just really bad. Anyway, it's going to be Air of Skynet for a minute because of the no music on this screen. So I ended up having a victory there. My opponent did pretty well. His guys, again, were stronger, and he probably could have given me a little bit more trouble here had he changed the way he maneuvered some. Chosen Spearmen are very good units. Chosen Swordsmen, also very good units, and he has a lot of them, 6 of them with an Oathsworn. So this is definitely a heavy sword build as well. But again, the Lusitani are going to be great on the charge. And then Veteran Shield Warriors, again, a tough nut to crack if they're in the right scenario. If they're not taking skirmisher fire, they're going to be a tough unit. And same thing with the Lusitani Noble. However, if either one of these units gets into skirmish fire, it's going to be game over pretty quick. But hope you all enjoyed that. I hadn't really gotten to use the guerrilla deployment successfully yet in a battle, so that one was kind of fun. Good game to my opponent, and I will be back with more Rome 2 action soon.